Hi, today I'm reviewing The Lost Pages Volumes 1 and 2 and The People Ashcan by Philip Diaz and Brandon Diaz. I backed this through the Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign that they ran, and it's still available currently there right now. And if you're watching this later and it's not, it will be on cgnow.net. So the campaign came with few other things, and I also added things on. So a pack of cards. This was the packaging that they were in. It's kind of like a old school, like whatever bubble gum came in. I don't know, bazooka or whatever. Kind of has that feel, but it's cool that there was like art on it. The cards that came with it were these ones. So they're characters, a lot of different artists, and stats and information about the characters on the back. I added this one on. There was a misprint. I did not do the pre-sign up for the campaign, so I missed out on this card, but there was a misprint and it was available to buy for $5. I don't know currently how many are left or if you could still get that. This was by John Malin. I think it was supposed to be gold, that part. And I think these ones came with a campaign if you just backed it. Silhouette. Another one by Kenneth Rockefort, and I don't know. I can't read it. It's too small. Oh. I don't know how to say that either. So you have to get this in order to find out who drew this. We got a bookmark. Crimstone sticker. Ad for their next book, which you could still sign up for right now. I'll put a link in the description, CG Vacation. A postcard, which makes me never want to go to Chicago. And it really is a postcard, I guess. Not sure what I would write on it or who to send it to. Hey, Mom, things are going great here in Chicago. See you soon, maybe. And then a Crimstone print. So, came with a lot of stuff. All right, Lost Pages, Volume 1. This is a great book. I liked it. The cover is really cool. I don't know about printing, so I don't know what this is called, but it almost kind of feels like vinyl or something. I don't know. I just can't remember if I've ever gotten a book that felt, I don't know what this finish is, like rubbery, vinyl-y. I don't know, but it's really cool. I like it. So this is a book that's kind of like a compilation book that has a bunch of different stories in it, which I like that just in case maybe you don't like one story and there's a couple others that you can always read that maybe you would like better. I mean, I did like all the stories, but like not everyone maybe likes cartoonier type art, so you could get underground looking art or detailed or like black and white. So when we first opened the book, it's kind of a little bit of a mess here. I thought this could use a little bit more work here, especially Volume 2. Like, I asked my girlfriend, I'm like, could you kind of read this? She had to like put it in the light She's like, yeah, I mean, you could read it, but it's kind of a little bit of a mess. Like, I don't know. When I opened the book, I was like, ugh, what is all this information? What is, why? I don't know. Like, to me, when I open a book, it should create a mood. And the mood for this is bombardment. Whereas, let's compare them to Frank Miller. Why not? So when you open this, bam, Sin City. Cool piece of art, Sin City. Some credits that are neatly put over there. Then we start the story. That was cool. That sets up a mood. Same thing with, we'll look at an indie book to make it a little bit more of a fair comparison. Okay, some blank pages. All right, well, maybe you didn't have enough space for blank pages. I understand that. But then even here, it's very pleasant to open this page and see just like the title and each person's name with what they did right there. Then maybe like more information right here because you got to include those things. But at least initially, I don't know, aesthetically, it was nice. So when I open this and as all that is there, I don't think I like that. I think this should just probably say the Lost Pages with this piece of artwork would be nice. I can't really see it right now. And then maybe the credits and such, like here. So it creates like, a little bit better of a mood and, kind of put together less haphazardly. This page, I don't know why this is here. This feels like the last page of the book where you say special things. I don't think this page is supposed to go second. Okay, so the story is great. The Silhouette's a really cool character. They do a really good job of coming up with cool ideas and characters. I mean, overall, the story is sort of like the intro to the Silhouette, so he doesn't really do much beyond, kind of like one crime stopping superhero thing or anti-hero thing, but it's more like a introduction to him. I mean, he just kind of narrates and talks, but it was cool. I liked it. Then the hobo is kind of like bringing all the stories together, which I liked him too. I liked that aesthetic of kind of like bridging everything together through him and like, I don't know, like Tales of the Crypt-ish. I don't know. There's whatever you call that type of storytelling. This one's a poem. I don't really care for poems, but there's other stories in here too, but the art is really great. So that didn't turn me off to it or anything. I mean, I still enjoyed it. Some hobo. Then Crimstone. We learn about, I can't remember her name. I can't remember if this is a figment of her imagination or like alternate personality. But this is a really cool shot right here. I like this one. That looks great. Nice and violent. That's cool. Art's awesome on this one. Yeah, that lettering is really cool. I like that. And then the last page, or story, kind of has like Bruce Timm Batman animated series vibe. So yeah, this one was enjoyable also. Yeah, so I liked the quality of the stories, all the different characters, the cast. It worked all well together. Good book. Lost Pages 2, they kind of dropped that theme of multiple stories. So you do get like a little bit of an intro with Crimstone here and a new character like this boy, and then kind of like that's probably like my favorite page out of all of the books. Just really over the top on that one. But yeah, like he kind of meets up with the hobo, and then that like starts the tale. But then that tale is all of the book. I didn't like that. I don't know why we changed the concept of the book from a bunch of cool little stories to one long story. I don't think that long story was sustainable for this many pages. I kind of got a little bit tired of it. Like at some point I was like, when's the next story gonna happen? And I flipped it, I was like, oh, this is all just one story. Oh, okay, well, that's fair enough. Now, I will say it's probably written somewhere on the campaign page. It was probably my fault that I did not read that. I mean, I was going to back it regardless. I don't really try to read the synopsis always because I want to be surprised. I like to go in blind to things. So, I backed it based off what I heard the concept, what I knew, and, just kind of hearing them talk and their personality and sales pitch. But I think it was kind of a misstep here to make it all one story. I was kind of excited to read number 2 after I finished the first one because I was like, oh man, this is cool. Like, who am I going to meet in the second one? Like, what other characters are they gonna come up with? And like, there's no Masquerade. I mean, there's barely Crimstone. I don't quite get it. Maybe this story could have been like a majority of the book or something, or maybe the longest one out of them. But I don't know. I did not care that it was the entire book. I was looking forward to see who else we would meet. Like, I understand maybe not bring the Masquerade back or whatever. Like, you want to make different things. But, like, this dude could have been in it. I don't know why he's relegated to just the Ashcan. I thought that was a really good story. Could have easily have been part of this book. Maybe this is where they're going with this. Like, each book now would be focused on a character. I'm not quite sure. But it would have to kind of step up in every department for me to get behind that, as opposed to, cool little tales and such. Probably my biggest complaint beyond that is this lettering. Like, is really inconsistent. I didn't really notice it until like this page where things got super tiny. And when I was reading, I was like, whoa, there's some really small font right there, small text. Like, I don't remember it being like that. So I flipped back to the next page. I'm like, the fuck, this shit was like gigantic here. Like, how did you go from like, I don't know, that size to like that size? I mean, those are, you could see that there's letters on this one, and this one you really can barely see that there's letters. At least, from my webcam at least. Like, it's that extreme of a difference on one page. I actually went back to Lost Pages 1 to see if that happened, and it did. Like here, but I don't know if maybe since it was a shorter story, I didn't really notice it, or maybe it's not as drastic because it, it's changing slightly. So I might have kind of just read it and not noticed. Or maybe I was just really into this story a lot more. Whereas this one, I was just like, and once I noticed that, then that's, there's no stopping that at that point. I just noticed it for the rest of it. I do like this poem thing. It was pretty cool. I didn't know Edgar Allan Poe wrote a poem called El Dorado. I also didn't know it was one word. I looked it up afterwards because I was like, what? There's one word? I thought it was two. But I did like that, I like when people have like outside interests or are men of culture and can kind of bring in things outside of comic books. So then we get to the story here where I guess Silhouette narrates two panels here. I mean, I'm assuming it's him because that was his narration style in the first one. So he narrates these two panels and then he stops narrating. I don't know why that was even in there then. It kind of, I guess it's possible to just kind of start the story out, but I'm not sure why though. I think it would work without him. I don't know. To me, if he was going to narrate, he should continue narrating. I don't think it should be just two boxes and then stop. It's kind of strange. I liked the character El Dorado. I thought he was pretty cool. I liked the entire story. I just didn't think it was sustainable for this many pages. There just needed to be more changes in the plot other than him good or him bad, me good kind of deal happening where it's like, okay, the Silhouette's got to stop El Dorado. That's it. I think Silhouette should have more to him. Like all these characters typically lead more of a life. Like I know he's like a specter or something, and I think he can't remember who he is or something, and that kind of is brought up at the end. But man, reading the whole book, it just felt like the Silhouette is nothing more than a plot device, and his life only exists within this plot, where he is just stopping El Dorado, whereas the people, I thought was much better. Like he's also a cool character too. I like the bat comes apart and does all these gadgets and shit. That was a cool idea. Yeah, there it is there. I think he swings from it or something too. But so we see, he kind of has that life. And then he's also whatever, maybe I guess a sketch artist. I don't remember, but either way, he's three-dimensional. He's still living a life. And it made me connect with him a little bit more, as opposed to the Silhouette who's doing nothing other than just stopping El Dorado. I would have preferred that trimmed. The section looked good. Yeah, that was the other problem too, was then eventually this art kind of wore me down after a while. Don't want to knock someone's art because it is very subjective. So, but to me, just this, I don't know, vagary on some of these things, and like I don't know why this is also sketchy. It's not very visually striking. Like, let's compare you guys to Sin City again. I know you like that, but yeah, there is a page somewhere around here that would be a good example, but now I won't be able to find it. Oh, here. Yeah, that's very visually striking, but I understand you don't want to like be Sin City because it's really hard to ever do this art style ever again because it'd just be like, oh yeah, that's Sin City. But visually, I don't know, it's very eye-pleasing, and just solid black is nice. And you could like do some other things within it, but like when I don't know if I can find that page again. Yeah, when I look at this, it's just I don't get the sketchiness. Oh, actually, it might work if the rest of the world itself was more grounded and not sketchy. Then I think that would stand out a little bit better. If everything was more solidly constructed and didn't have that same style, and then the silhouette would look crazy if, everything's like solidly, black and white, and then he's sketchy. He's the only thing that's sketchy that exists. Then I'd be like, oh, wow, he's really coming off like he's from another world. But I don't know. Everything's kind of like a little bit sketchy. That one looks good there. But there's just a lot of it where I don't know. I'm just not quite like this page. Definitely is just too sketchy. I don't get what's supposed to be happening there. I guess like the negative effect I understand, but like what is that? I don't think that worked. Then there was just some odd drawing. This lady in particular. How do I show you that? Okay. Her arm is like insane. Like, I don't even understand that at all. It just felt like, I don't know, maybe a little bit more work could have been done there, another pass. I understand there's deadlines and such, so, and I can't do this myself, so it's always easier to criticize. But I'll never focus on this. But this dog does not even match the style of her whatsoever. The dog looks heavily photo referenced. I mean, it really feels like it was a picture of a dog because he's not sitting on the same plane as her. He is also outlined in a much different style. So I don't know what was happening there. I mean, maybe it was somebody's dog that, you guys wanted to include, but it doesn't quite gel with everything else. Like, you could tell that's probably from a photo because it like doesn't sit on the same plane where the camera is, where everything else is. Yeah, some of these sequences here is just, I don't know. There's just got to be visually better ways to draw this. It's very weak, the way this branch is falling. Like, why is it falling from that direction? It almost looks like the power came from this direction. Maybe it'd fall that way, but it's always possible to fall reverse. But I don't know. Maybe like a shot of like her looking up at it and it coming at her, or like we're, looking down at her face. It's just kind of the same camera, like distance angle changed a little bit, but it was kind of the same camera angle, really, those two. And, even this one, they're all kind of that medium, whatever, medium close up, or I forget the names. I'll just say medium shot. But, they're all kind of like that. I like him here. That was a cool idea. So yeah, I like the story. I just wish the concept wouldn't have changed from including multiple stories to focusing on one. I don't know. It started to show faults when trying to do a much longer story, you need to bring a lot more to the table to sustain at least my attention. So I don't know if this is the idea going forward. Each character gets a book, but I kind of already looked at this briefly one more time. This art was really awesome. Yeah, all the characters are great. I like everything. I like the world too. It just seems really cool. And things are starting to be connected. So there really seems like there's going to be a larger plan happening in the Lost Page universe. Oops. Don't want to see that. Here's some sketches by the people that worked on the people. These are cool. So yeah, if you could still get this, I would definitely get this too. But it seems like he probably could have been included in here. I would definitely back them all still, and I'll be getting the next one. Interested in see where they're going with this world, because there's some things I don't want to spoil that happen at the end of both of these books that, did make me go, wonder what will happen now. Especially the reveal of a character that is going to show up. She looked really cool. I feel like I was somewhat mean to this book. I'm sorry. I still liked you, though. Your friends were really awesome. So back it if you can. If you can't back it, still back it.
There you go. Now get your tail out of here before I kick some deer butt. You better run.
Now this is my alien vagina fleshlight, my alien pussy. I've never put my dick in it, believe it or not.